Hey, piece of shits. Welcome to episode 29 of the Flow State podcast with Tait Middleton. He is the host of the Tait Talks podcast. He's a stand-up comedian from Belbray, and he's here again for his second appearance on the Flow State podcast to talk about, well, what do we talk about, Tait?
There's been a lot of Target jokes. We didn't nail any of those.
That's right.
I did hear some Dolly Parton stuff. We found out she has allegedly fake titties, and some other stuff. Stand up, my podcast, these cunts being mimes. That's about it, I guess.
Well, Tait, that's fantastic to hear from you, buddy. Now, you can check out the Flow State podcast anywhere you can find a good podcast. That's Facebook, YouTube, Apple iTunes, regular iTunes, Google Music, Google Play, anywhere bloody else you can find an RSS feed of a podcast. You can also check us out at flowstatepodcast.weeblysite.com, where you can purchase Cody's 2018 comedy special for the Bendigo Festival, and also the Cody's also other special in 2019 featuring myself, the guy who's waving the pencil around. Now, bloody have a good one. It's episode 29. It's the Flow State podcast. Go and buy a t-shirt and belt it up your ass.
Throw it up your ass.
Snakes.
Tait Middleton's back. How are you, Tait?
Good. Thanks for having me on via Zoom.
Thanks for coming back, man. Thanks for coming back and choosing to be on the Flow State podcast for a second time.
Yeah.
Only one other's ever done. Oh, two other have ever done that. It's a big risk, and you've taken it. So
I mean, it's pretty easy just to turn the fucking webcam on and just do this. It's it's either that or jerk off.
Oh, well, you can do
And
both.
now I can just have the webcam on.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the funny thing is it is that easy, but I mean, there's a hidden episode that we only have half of, because last time we tried to do this, what would have been episode 29, my computer crashed halfway through and I lost half the recording. So it is that easy sometimes, but it's not always easy to keep that stuff. But we'll go do that episode again another time down the track.
Absolutely.
Maybe in person would probably be a better time.
For sure, absolutely. Yeah, it's shit using like technology that can crash on you. Sometimes when you're in person, as you know, Tait, as a podcaster now, in person it's a lot easier. But like this is what we got to do now. We're Victorians and we have to be doing this via Skype, Zoom.
Yes,
Skype. Don't advertise for Skype on Zoom. Someone's going to come in.
It just turns off.
Yeah.
Did they say the S word? That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I keep saying,
Skype.
if it's good enough for Conan O'Brien's internationally renowned TV show, then we can do it too. Piece of shit.
I get that. Yeah, it's a fair stretch for those guys to like. They must lose so much money that they're like, we have to fucking do this. There's something flying around on my.
It's real. It's real. But like, think about how much money they could save if they just did it like that all the time and just had ad breaks.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
It takes a bit away from it though, like as you guys would definitely know.
Totally. Well, that's the thing. We talked about this another time. Conan's stuff works really well in front of an audience, but I watched the interviews he does and I'm just kind of like,
Yeah.
Because I haven't been told to laugh, but he is very fucking funny. But his stuff, he plays off his audience super well.
He's tall.
Yeah, very tall. Yeah.
So what's been going on with you, Tait? What's news in Belbray? What's been happening?
I mean, you probably can't tell, but I'm probably fatter. Beard's a bit longer, hair's a bit longer, dick's smaller, which is impressive.
It's not smaller, it's the same size. The trick is you just get a little bit more cushion around it.
No, it's smaller.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had the ruler out.
Honey, I shrunk the dick.
Yeah, that's it.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do about that? Because you can't let that happen. You can't just let that one slide.
I mean, I'm 30 now, and like my best years are way behind me now. So it's just a decline in everything. What's in the background? You got a goat in there?
It's actually my fiance.
Oh, okay, crawling around.
Crawling around.
He keeps her in the back room. She's normally not supposed to be out.
Yeah, she crawls around when I'm doing this. She's like a commando at the minute, getting clothes off the clothes horse.
There you go.
If you're listening to the podcast and you can't see the video, yeah, she's literally on hands and knees crawling in the background. She didn't think we could see her, by the way, but we saw her.
I could.
She did a really good job.
Get attacked.
That's the thing, is life still must go on while we do these things. Like, there are people around us and they have to live too.
That's right.
Yeah, everyone hates it. It's like when people used to tell me they were a podcaster, I'm like, ugh. God.
Another one, worker.
Yeah. And now I'm one of those people. So.
Yeah.
So how is it going, man? Because you, just when we caught up last time, you had come up to pick up a bunch of gear to start your podcast, which is called Tait Talks. How far in are you? What's been going on with that?
So I just put out episode 4, Monday just gone. I don't know what the date would be for that because I'm retarded. But no, it's been fun. I've had Cody on the show.
Yep.
I think he's episode 9, I believe.
So you've already quite a way ahead.
Yeah, I had 11 recorded. Unfortunately, episode 1 had to get pulled down for technical difficulties, we'll say.
Was it technical difficulties, or was it like, I can't post it because they said don't post it?
Maybe something like that.
We've had that.
We've had it. It's a thing that happens. Yeah.
People like to be open on the podcast, which is absolutely fantastic. And then unfortunately you figure like, oh, this actually goes to people. Yeah. Like looking at the analytics just for my fucking podcast started. I'm like, I've got listeners in like random spots in America, France, Denmark, and all this shit. And I'm like, who are you people?
Yeah, so, and they stumble across it, man. It's pretty weird how it all happens. I keep a good eye on those analytics, and people pop up in Sweden listening to your podcast, and all of a sudden you rank number 82 in Hungary on the Hungary charts. You're like,
Hungary.
You're just some big celebrity.
Hungary.
Yeah, they've got billboards of us over there.
Bear, we love him.
That's right. These two very funny people.
Yeah. The fat man we like.
We like it. But that's the thing is, and look, man, we find that happens a lot more with local people than it does with people from outside of town and stuff. But that's totally fine because that's, it happens. People still, like I said, people still have to live. People still have lives around that. And if they realize that they've said something that may have gone on for 20 minutes and it's going to fuck the episode, so we can't just pull that bit out. We might as well pull the whole thing out. Or if they're, doing whatever or want to use it, they might think that what they said reflects badly on a future job position or whatever. Hey, man, we'll pull it. I mean, we hope it sucks. We don't want to have a missed thingo, but man, we haven't got enough skin in the game to be worried about going, well, that's going to cost us $60 million if we pull that one. Yeah. So it's like, man, the thing is, we want to make a podcast, we want to make it good, but we also want to be good people. So we don't want to step on anyone's toes or fucking cost them a thing. So,
I reckon episode 10 is when I become bad. Like, I'm just going to be like, you had your time for me to pull them down. Now I'm fucking Carl Sanderlands. I'm just fucking ruthless. Everyone's a flag. Like, I'm going to get that persona.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been helping some people out. I work in a music shop, as people know. I've been helping a lot of people out with their podcast stuff. And I've had a couple of people come to me and say, our legal guy, our friend's a fucking solicitor or whatever, and they've got contracts so people can sign and shit like that, which kind of holds them accountable and stops them from holding. And I'm like, that's a whole other game, though. Now
it's a release form,
business. Now we're talking business. I mean, like, you
want to be fun?
Yeah, well, I want to have a good time. I don't want to fucking get, 6 guys in suits to show up and go, no, anything that you say can be held accountable against you. And we just want to let you know that we'll be putting it up regardless. And
to me, podcasting is like, hey, come over, let's have a fun chat. Let's have a controversial chat if you're that way inclined, or let's have a fucking interesting, deep conversation. But either way, let's have a conversation. And at the end of it, we can go, that was fun as hell. Want to stick around and have a beer, do whatever, like.
That's right. Play some PlayStation.
No chat roulette.
Yeah.
Have a poo. Do it while you're on the toilet.
Yeah.
Crack one off.
Crack off a log on track.
I've chatted to a few people, like trying to get them on the show, just like saying, hey, I'd like to get you on. Very interesting, all this stuff. And there's actually been a fair few people that I've forgotten about that have government jobs, and they're like, I have to ask.
Yeah.
Like I've probably got 4 people lined up that are still waiting to get replies. Yeah. It's gone from HR to PR to fucking all the way up to the commissioner and shit. And you're just like, It's a podcast, but I get it because my personality and stuff, I say shit and I'm not accountable for it. You know, I can't get cancelled from being unemployed. I can.
You're already cancelled. You're starting from cancelled.
I'm starting from the bottom. I mean, ScoMo can be like, you're not getting any money anymore. Then I'm really cancelled.
Then your life's cancelled.
Yeah.
That's groceries are cancelled.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. People got to protect themselves. It's fantastic that anyone gives me time to even come on the show. I'm always like I made up some T-shirts. I gave you guys and stuff.
Oh, I haven't been able to see Cody to get mine, but thank you so much for the shirt. I'm wearing ours instead.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
But that's all I do. I give someone a T-shirt for coming on and be like, thank you so much. Like, I can't really fucking pay you. Like, I could, but I don't want to.
Yeah. Might possibly ruin your life. Here's a T-shirt.
Yeah. But I just see it also as like, here's a T-shirt. Fucking, I mean, if you ever go to the gym, whenever they're reopened, use it as a gym, and maybe someone may see it. You know, I'm exploiting them for coming on my show. Which is genius.
Genius. Well, look, man, that's the thing. We're discovering this without giving too much away. We've got some guests that are lined up that, you know, schedule conflicts. We can't get a particular one on a particular date because he's a busy motherfucker. You know, you got things to do. I got one guy who I think just doesn't check his account very much and has some shit going on. And I've got one particular lady who's signing up to a major record label and we'll have to check if they're allowed to do it or not. And so, you know, it's just a matter of those things is, you know, you got to live, you got to do your thing. And especially when you're working for somebody, you don't want to misrepresent them. And you know, I would expect too that if we were to do those situations, we'd have to do them far enough in advance for them to be proofed over by the people that, you know, kind of run that. And that's fine because that's people's lives, that's people's jobs. We want to represent your brand as best as possible, and, you know, without being a piece of clay about it, and also without, you know, ruining it. I'm a huge fan of this particular guy. He's a comedian and a guitarist. His name's Unknown Hinson. He fucked up real bad last week. He called Dolly Parton a redneck slut, a fake-titted slut, and said that rednecks run her, some shit like that. And he was being stupid, and what he said was dumb, and he should be punched in the head for saying it. And
she does have fake tits though.
I mean, like, if you can put your hands on them, they're real.
I mean,
it's true.
They don't not exist. They're real. They don't not exist. They didn't.
Yeah, they're not
holograms. Yeah, and even holograms exist in the plane of bandwidth that we can see, so they're real too.
Whoa.
Right? Oh, get your mind blown into the fucking blue, Steve. Anyway, so he said some dumb shit. Lost his job. Everyone hates him. Lost his guitar sponsorship. Yeah, he's from America. And I'm just like, oh, well, fuck the guy. I mean, we had some good times. Guy's funny, but that's what you get for being a cockhead, I suppose.
I suppose it is.
Say
he lost his job as a comedian?
No, he was on, have you seen the show Squiddabillies?
I vaguely know the name.
It's shit anyway, but he was the voice. About
squids?
Yeah, the hillbilly squids. And he was the voice of the main, the dad squid. And I mean, I thought all the stuff that he was funny. I genuinely thought he was hilarious. And I mean, like, I also now think he's a racist piece of shit from all the other stuff he said.
Well, he said racist shit?
Yeah, he was talking about how she was supporting BLM or something like that, and he was just being a piece of shit.
Oh, okay.
But I
thought you just can't say chicks got fake titties in there.
Oh, no. He was all kinds of all over the joint. And the thing is, I thought he was doing it. I first read it and I thought, oh, it's him doing the comedy bit. And then I'm like, oh, hold on a minute. This guy's like legit. And then I went back through his post and apparently he was like running for president and shit.
So
he went full cooked, man.
So Tait, on that, you're a comedian and you've said some controversial shit at your sets.
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Well, this is why me and Tait sort of got along when we first met, because we're both like, yeah, fuck yeah, say what you want. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, just even if for me, I want to go into this. I want to change my outlook now. I want to go, if it's funny, no matter what, fucking say it. That's what I want to live my life like. If it's funny and it makes someone laugh, it doesn't have to be everyone. Someone can find it funny, well, fuck everyone else.
Yeah. I mean, I think we chatted about this on my podcast.
We did briefly, yeah.
The PC type of stuff.
Yeah.
That I think I may have used the point of Jim Jeffries I believe, came out and said that if you can make 5% of the world's population laugh, you're going to be a very rich person. 5%, people don't really take too much note of, but realistically, that is a lot. That's a big market of the world.
Oh yeah, out of 7 billion people.
Yeah, I would take that. I would take 1%. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, absolutely.
And it's, I mean, you don't try to be edgy for the sake of being edgy. People do that, and I feel like some people don't think that, like, they don't think like that in their normal, like, the jokes that I say on stage are jokes that I say to my mates and other people. There's no, like, there's Tait on stage, there's Tait off stage, both pieces of shit. So it doesn't really change. Whereas I think like people have a persona on stage. Yeah. They're like, no, I just say that stuff to you. I'm like, no, that's just what I know. I'm just a fucking.
But that's also a really good way to get out of trouble if you say something on stage. Oh no, it's just a character. But man, I don't know if I could do one because it's like, not because, I mean, maybe I'm not that creative, but at the same time, if I just want to be myself, because I don't even know who that is, and it took me a long time to just get to where I am. So I mean, if people can have a laugh at me being myself, then I feel happy. I'll try. I mean, I'm not always right, but I never say anything that I want to hurt anybody with. But I also think I should be able to say absolutely anything if I feel like it's going to get a laugh.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
I don't want to piss people off, so I use my internal filter. You should hear the amount of shit that I don't say, though. Fucking hell.
But
it's everyone, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Everyone would be on some sort of list.
But the thing is, and it's always been this way, but for some reason, comedians in particular are forgetting it, and they're the people who shouldn't be forgetting this. It's that you always said offensive comedy's been around and people have hated it forever.
Yeah.
Like, remember in the 70s, you couldn't even go on the TV and say shit because people would be writing letters. So it's never not been like this, and people are reacting as if it's never been like this. It's never been so bad, PC culture. It's always been this bad. What's happened is comedians have started giving a fuck about what people think about them. Remember the days when comedians truly did not give an absolute pinch of shit about what people said about their comedy. They would say it and they'd go, I don't give a fuck. That's what makes me better and funnier than you.
Yeah, I mean, the ability to put your balls on the line is a big thing. It is.
And there's about 5 comedians left that actually live...
Just in general.
Yeah, well, that actually live by that. And Ricky Gervais is leading the...
In the limelight, anyway.
In the limelight.
I was lucky enough to go to the Comedy Store last year before, like, it closed down. And I mean, like, Joe Rogan and everyone's left, so it's going to be a shell of itself, but still awesome, I assume. Yeah. But I was lucky to go there, and those comedians and stuff who are there that are still very high up and very much professional comics, they go after it because they're like, I can't sit back. I've got to be different from these guys, and the women go very hard and the men go very hard, and it's amazing. And you're just like, yes. And it's not like an open mic where some random person runs the show and they go, I don't agree with this. You're not allowed to do this show. And then the follow-on effect. Because with like the small knit fucking comedy, like open mics and shit like that, if you burn your bridges, your fucking bridges are
You burn them.
Like, yeah.
With Facebook,
unless you make your own fucking comedy nights and stuff, like, you're done. So you really have to pander to each thing, unfortunately.
But it's shitty, man, because you go on it, you say something bad, you go, because you don't work a joke, you go to an open mic night to work your shit out. You might say something, you might slip and say something that's like misunderstood, and people will take it as more negative than it perhaps should have been, or perhaps it is a negative thing that you said. Yeah. You can be published on the forum of that particular comedy city. Don't let this guy gig at your fucking room because he's a racist, or he's a sexist, or he's a fuckwit, or whatever it is. You know, it can happen so quick. So you just got to be careful. But is it worth it?
Yeah, it's very hard.
Was that a question? I wasn't listening.
Just say yes on that. You go either way, I'll be fine. But yeah, you just gotta. It's very hard. Like as you say, like, you want to try new material and you don't know if it's dog shit or got any legs, and then someone goes, "You can't say that," and you're like, I think I can't remember where I said this, but you would know the joke about my fucking old man dying.
Yeah.
And I always set it up in a certain order, do it mid fucking gig to get people nice and warm and stuff, get used to me. And then I say, unfortunately, my father died. Someone in the audience always goes, oh, and then I go, don't worry, he was a cunt. So by saying that, it breaks the tension. And they're just like, oh, he's talking about his dad who's died, but he's just called him a cunt.
So we can laugh now.
Yeah, and now they're like, oh, the tension's gone, and then I can go into that the joke. So, like, I've had people come up to me a couple of times and go, oh, you can't say that joke. And I'm like, it's my dad, you fucking moron. Like,
See,
if
people
I
say
can't make that joke, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, well, people say that to me, man, except I do that at funerals for other people, so...
Yeah.
Like, it's all right. No, he was a cunt. Don't worry, he's dead now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, sir, you're going to have to leave and put down the sandwich.
People have this this belief that you can't joke about the dead or you can't libel the dead or whatever it may be. I've had that
but
before.
They're dead.
I've
what are they going to do about it?
I've made jokes about that. Yeah, well, that's it. Where the ladies yelled out, like, she's been heckling all night, and then you make some deady jokes, and she just gets up and she goes, that's it, you can't make jokes about dead people. It's like, well, yeah, fuck off then, because the next 5 minutes is going to be about dead people.
Yeah.
And the other 5 minutes is going to be about you, woman.
And I think I said to her, when you die, I'll make jokes about you too. And then and then she left.
I love it.
She cried and left. She literally cried. That was at the Gold Dust Lounge in Bendigo.
But she's just fucking
she's been a fuckwit, so I'll be a fuckwit to you.
Did you come to a comedy show, though, or a fucking sermon? You know what I mean?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. You came to a comedy show. You didn't go there to fucking have your views challenged and have your ideas challenged.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, exactly. You're dead right. But
can we write a joke? Can we write a joke right now? Can we? I'm going to get a piece of paper and a pen. I'm going to write a joke, boys.
Oh, God.
Nah, I'm into it, man. I want to fucking get a whole set going. All right, boys. What do we got?
All right, what do you got, Tate?
Boys, hang on. I'll have a quick sniff of this texter. All right, stop doing that. You will get us cancelled. Okay, all right. I will. Where's a pen?
Have you read the monetization stuff for YouTube, all the shit you can't do to get, like, their ads?
I can't read.
Oh,
I sniff too many texts.
You're fucked.
What's it say?
It's like pretty much it. So no drinking, so you're out. No excessive
That's just red cordial.
It's cordial, man.
Oh, well, we're fucked.
No guns, no smoking, no taking drugs.
That's probably why Joe Rogan left the fucking platform.
Certain themes, I think, are off topic.
Yeah.
Religious bashing, sexist, all that type of stuff. Just fair enough, unless it's funny, you know. But yeah, it's very strict.
Yeah, but what do you feel about that? Like, when it comes to, because there's sexist jokes, there is jokes, whether they're good or not. Like, can there be good jokes about these taboo subjects?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's about the fucking target. It's about the target. It's all about how you set up the joke. Of course, if the target's the victim or the fucking, you're punching down and you hit, like, I don't think punching down's a negative in comedy either. I think like some of the best jokes ever have been punching down.
Look, I think Target's been going through a hard enough time being bought out by Kmart, guys. Just probably not good to make jokes about Target. All right.
Yeah,
is that real?
Yeah, that's real.
Really?
Sorry, off topic. Sorry.
That's right.
I'm going to put down
fucking
first joke. Jokes 1. Target.
Yeah. You're gonna storm it. You're gonna storm it, man.
Fuck yeah, my set's gonna be sweet.
It's funny though, like joke writing in general, that everyone would have a different way that they go about it.
Correct. So I like to think of it reverse engineer by coming up with what's funny first and then building something.
Well, there we go. We'll go. Target is the thing that's funny. Target's the punchline. All right. We're doing this, boys. We're going to write a new joke here today. Flow State first.
All right. Well, we'll see what we come up with at the end.
All right. Let's put it together. We'll work on this slowly.
Very slowly.
Yeah, I haven't written a joke in about 6 years.
Yeah, and you give us Target as the punchline.
Yep, that's right.
I went Target.
No, let's go with a punchline like Jimmy Savile, something deep and dark.
Tate looks like Jimmy Savile.
What do Tait Middleton and Jimmy Savile have in common?
Right. Target. Woo! Is it Target? They choose. I don't know. Something that's horrible.
Necrophilia.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking dead cunt.
You can't make jokes about the dead.
Next time someone says that, you should. Next time someone says you can't make jokes about the dead, you should be like, just wait for my necrophilia joke, and then.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. We're talking about necrophiliacs coming up next.
Yeah, because that's like two birds, one stone. That's raping and dead. That's
Oh fucking shit.
it's as dark as it can possibly get.
Oh shit.
I mean, like sometimes if you lean into that type of stuff,
If you lean into it and own it,
yeah, you're like, I am a piece of shit.
you do it well. You do it well because you do it even in your solo podcast that you did to replace episode 1.
Yeah,
which is now available on the Tait Talks episode 1 thing, where you just did a lot of self-deprecation, which I know and love from you. You know, just constantly just going,
I call it the truth.
the truth. Yeah, no,
I mean, I don't get people that can't make fun of themselves. And then people, it's like if I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a fat guy, and then someone's like, oh no, you're not fat, and you're like, what the
That's
fuck?
more insulting.
What am I then? You tell me, look me in the eyes. What the fuck am I? Am I the picture of health? You know, and they take a step back, and they're like, you're scaring my child. And I'm like, call me fat.
So I'm gonna have to ask you to leave the Target.
Yeah. Turn my camera.
But Tait, you've been up and down really with your sort of fitness journey over the time. Like you've done a lot of MMA and stuff, haven't you?
I'm just a general fat man. That is what you call being a fat person. Up and down.
All three of us are. Yeah, it's up and down all year round.
That's all you
I'm a cycle, right? Like I get fat in the winter months and then I sort of get leaner in summer and then I go back again.
Well, I stay fat and then get a little bit less fat and then get even fatter.
Oh, really? So you're like a I'm
at my fattest right now.
I get to about 21 and then just balloon out for the next 10 years and don't stop.
Okay, yeah, it's like a graph.
Yeah, just like a logarithmic.
I try and break my PB. I try and I'm seeing too much dick. I need to fucking get a bigger stomach.
What did you say? You try to rape your TV?
Yeah.
I
didn't.
I don't think you did.
What?
I said blah 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 Target, and then I wanted you to finish it up.
Hang on, rape TV.
How would you rape it? Remember those old TVs when you'd press the button and it would it'd be spring loaded and it'd go crack and TV up.
I love that shit.
Yeah,
I love when you had
to pull the knob out and it'd go.
Is that green?
Yeah. Remember at school when you had the computer with the CRT TVs and you'd always push the de-gauze button and it would go fuzzy and your hair would stand up?
Yeah.
Surely that was dangerous.
To me.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's how Chernobyl started, I think.
Do you remember, when I was young, I'm 30 now, and I still remember when, microwaves were still, on the are they good, are they bad?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I remember staring into the microwave, watching popcorn pop. Yeah. My dad being like, "Oi, get out of it! It'll hurt you."
And you turned out fine.
Looking at it,
with your face pressed up against the fucking microwave.
I did.
Me too.
Back. He slapped me in the back of the head. I headbutted the microwave, started crying. He's like, "I told you the microwave would hurt you." And I was just like, fucking lunatic.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
And that's why he's a cunt.
Well, I got to say, you looked into the microwave, but look where it got him.
It's true. Yeah, I stabbed it.
Oh shit! So you're enjoying a bit of good time with the podcast. It sounded nice and crispy. You got a really nice set. You've got a big sign up the back.
Yeah.
It's going all right. Where are you? Are you in the house where you film?
I'm in my mum's shed.
Yes, sick.
Yeah.
So how does she feel about you turning the shed into a studio?
I mean, I cleaned the whole thing for her.
Yeah.
There's shit that you haven't seen in years and years and years. And that all went into the skip or on the bonfire in the paddock. That took me about a week and a half to clean. That's how dirty it was. I put up a little video on
the bat was funny, man.
The bat was fucking terrifying.
Because that is a fucking bat.
Yeah, coronavirus. And then
that was funny, man.
Yeah, it was pretty terrifying though. I thought it was a mouse, and It just
I could
sprouts
tell.
wings.
I could
Yeah.
tell. I could tell you were scared when it was coming back. It's like coming back.
That's coming back.
Oh, shit.
Oh no.
Yeah. So then, clean the shed up, got little bits and pieces. I thought to myself, like, you helped me out immensely, Broden, with the gear, and as I said, the helping with the recording actual software, which is amazing by you.
No problem.
You're debt.
Anytime.
So that's been awesome, really easy to use. The stuff that you recommended and got me from the Muso stuff, I believe, that's been awesome. Everyone said that's really crisp.
And you got in at the perfect time, because after you got that was the last one I had for months.
Oh, really?
We had no more, and it's like I was talking to somebody about them at the supply the other day. They ordered 7,000 more of those for the country and got 200 show up. So
is that the audio interface?
Yeah, the Scarlett interface. Yeah,
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah. So you got in at the perfect time, dude.
Yeah, I've been pretty lucky with a few things.
Yeah.
I even bought like a PlayStation 4 before like the first lockdown type thing.
Beautiful.
And the guy, when I was like buying it, was just like, man, there's like 3 left out the back. You're so lucky. And then Doom came out, and I was like, yeah, boy. And I just played that.
You should get on with us, man. We have a good time on there. We're playing Call of Duty and shit.
I've never got into Call of Duty.
Yeah, neither had I until this new one. Now I'm enjoying the fruits of that. I mean, it's 100 gig update every 3 seconds, but I've had to delete all the other games off my console.
Gee, it's just Call of Duty fucking PS4.
Pretty much.
PS5
I'm gonna have to get another one. Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Does it this year?
December, I believe.
Oh, I don't think I'm going to get one. I think I can't get anything that comes out like when it comes out. I don't feel right about it because the price is so inflated. And
they made it a lot cheaper, I believe. I think there's 2.
Really?
I think the expensive one's like $600 or $700 instead of like your $1,200.
Yeah.
And it's still expensive, but I probably won't get mine myself either. But
yeah. Well,
I got a PS4 this year. Can't really just get a PS4.
Yeah, same. I got a PS4. Maybe 2 years ago, I got a PS4, and it was only because it was when Spider-Man came out. I only got it to play Spider-Man, but like it took me till 2 years before the Wii U was cancelled to get one of those.
What's the Wii U?
What? Nobody knows.
Is that the white one with the?
I mean, I got a black one, but the original Wii had those remotes that you had the dunk dunk, but this one had the tablet, the pad, and you could but then it was the precursor to the Switch, which is awesome, and I love.
Do you remember Wii fucking tennis and shit?
Oh fuck yeah, man! I still have one hooked up to the
I got
TV.
tennis elbow from that. I never recovered.
I got my first perfect game bowling that sick. I was like, and I just kept doing the same motion, and I got a perfect 300. That's when I still had a digital camera that had a MMC card in it. It's crazy.
Well, congratulations on your perfect game.
I'll find the photo and we'll post it on the Patreon page.
Anyway, going back to the shed, cleaned it. Podcast has been really fun. I've caught up with like pretty much 12 people, friends and stuff, and it's great to sit down, chat to those guys unfortunately. My episodes have been going quite long. It's been fantastic to hang out with people. I have learned that the next stage of my recording that I have to follow you guys and probably be around the hour mark because people just don't have that. You know, it's no one's listening to a full fucking Joe Rogan podcast that goes for 3.5 hours.
They've got to have to go that long. You know what I mean? It's got to be. You're interested enough to talk to the person for 3 hours or whatever, you know? It's like...
I mean, he's flying them in. He's paying $1,000 or whatever it is to get him in there. I'm pretty sure it's something like that. So he's got to get, like, his money's worth. You know what I mean? So a lot of people have been like, oh, how long does this go for? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, our episode went for, I think, 2 hours. Yours and your Cody.
Yeah, it's been pretty good, yeah. That was good fun, man.
I was going to say, like, I think... if you're obviously listening to the Flow State podcast, I would recommend listening to Cody's episode. You don't have to listen to any fucking other episode, but I would recommend listening to Cody's simply because a lot of people wouldn't know your story and stuff like that. And it's not like you get to do great detail in this podcast about your working experiences and things like that because I got to interview you essentially. So I
Yeah.
would highly recommend if you want to know like Cody's ins and outs and stuff. It's very and the what was it, the fucking prison officer stuff is
Yeah.
very, very interesting.
Like, yeah, and it was good, man, because I'd never been sat down and like specifically asked. Like when it's a podcast, it's usually me doing it. I think I've done 2 or 3 where maybe 4 where it's not me and it's on someone else's podcast, but it's not an opportunity that I get a lot. And I really do like not being in the driver's seat, if you know what I mean. And like,
That's why
as
I
you
did this.
say, yeah, it's great, man, because as you say, it was good to sort of, because I always learn shit about myself when I'm being asked and I'm answering questions. It's like, fuck, I didn't even know that, because you don't sit there and tell yourself about what you do. You know what I mean? It's like you wait until someone asks you, then you go, oh yeah, that's what I did.
And you forget shit.
You forget shit. And then when you're prompted and you're asked, that's when you sort of realize, oh, actually, maybe I'm not such a boring piece of shit after all.
Well, that's it. Yeah. It's very like, I thought it was a great episode.
Oh man, and I had a good time. It was well worth the 2.5 hour drive down there.
Yeah,
I do like it.
Yeah.
It was good, man. It was worth it. I'd like to come back, you know.
Mate, I've got the gym set up now. You know, we can do the Joe Rogan thing. I've got a fucking couple of sheep in the paddock. You can bring down some kind of compound bow and, you know, probably not shoot them, but like maybe scare them. I don't know.
Yeah. We could shoot one up in the air and just see where it lands.
Yeah. It's like, there goes mum.
Oh, damn! Straight through the chimney.
Oh shit.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's really fun. I enjoy it. The podcast it's the technique of actually doing a podcast. More my style is very like more interview, and I have like I want to get from A to fucking B, and I write down questions and stuff like that because I just don't want to waste people's time. I guess when they're not my close friends, you know what I mean? Like I want to be like, hey, I want to learn this, and this. Essentially, it was trying to make like a little blueprint for people to follow, like just in traveling and just general different things that people do.
Yeah, man, there's an art to it as well. There's an art to, and it's easier in person. It's a lot harder here on Zoom, but there's an art to letting someone speak enough before you come in and talk over the top of them and stuff like that. And I think it only comes after time. Like sometimes you catch yourself rambling for about, it's like, fuck, I haven't even let any of these other guys talk for 5 minutes. So you're always very conscious of that. I do it too, and then I reel it in. But yeah, when you first start, sometimes the trap, I think, when you first start doing it is you can just fall into not speaking, and there's always awkward silences, which is something that Broden and I didn't have, because whenever we got together in real life, it was always just talk.
Yeah.
Which is good that we avoided that awkward silence. But I think what we make up for awkward silence, we ramble.
I was going to say, I still struggle with that every day, because like I have a coffee now, blitzes me up, and like it's just time in my head is different to time on a clock. It travels a lot quicker. You know what I mean? So it's, I mean, is that quicker or slower? I don't know. But either way, it's one of those things. And you know, I listened to this podcast from the Cheese TV guys, right? And,
really?
Yeah, and it was when they first started coming back, and they said the way that they got the job was by they were in the green room waiting, and they had a little TV there that you could watch TV on, and they turned it on. I thought, fuck it, we'll turn this TV on, and there was like you could watch the other kids auditioning, and so they sneaky watched this thing, and they're like, oh fuck, these guys are shit. And then they said, hey dude, when we go on, what we'll do is let's not talk over one another. Wait till the other one's fit, and we'll look at each other a lot and stuff like that. They did that, and they had this good chemistry that let them go. And that's one of the things that you know, Cody and I talked about when we were doing the show. And even though I still do struggle with it, it's it's a good thing to. I mean, there's an element of a real conversation in there where people are. It's like a Spielberg movie. People are talking at once sometimes, but at the same time, everybody's kind of. It's like, you know. The opposite of when you watch Law and Order SVU and everybody finishes the other person's sentences. Yeah, sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's at least some element of a real conversation that can be followed by people, which is why we're 29 episodes in and people are still watching the show, you know?
Well, another thing, cool. Yeah, thanks, Tate. And another thing is too, like when you sort of hit a subject that where everyone likes to talk about, and you can feel everyone's interest sort of perk up and get involved in the conversation. So sure. That's another point, and I think that's why your interview podcast is so good, Tate, because you're sort of bringing shit out of people to get them
Yeah,
to
I'm just
speak,
talking
and you
about
can-
their stuff. So I'm like, you
Mm.
know about your shit. Like, let's talk about your job. And they're like, oh, my job's pretty boring. I'm like, mate, you're a deckhand on a crayfishing boat.
Yeah.
No one else fucking does that.
What was it
It's
like
not on
talking to?
TV. Let's talk
What's
about this.
Well, I suppose people can go and listen to the episode because you did speak to a cray fisherman, didn't you?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was more my reference for point. But
Yeah,
like, it's
yeah.
just people just take for granted their own jobs. It's like
Yeah.
if you were chatting to me about fucking stand-up comedy, I would just like chat about it for hours, but I would be like, it's nothing special. But for someone who wants to get into stand-up comedy or has thought about
Yeah.
it or has always wondered, that's why I did like on the episode 1, I was like, I'm going to do like a mini breakdown of how you would
Yeah.
get into stand-up if you knew absolutely nothing.
Mm.
So it was just shit like that, and just
Yeah, that
you
was
know,
good, man, because that's what I would have wanted when I was getting into it.
Yeah.
It's like some guy who's, just a few years into it as well, and it is by no means, because everything that you're finding podcast wise is like someone who's like working as a pro in the
Yeah,
States or something like that. But you haven't heard the real raw shit, like from
someone
some guy in
crying.
Belbray. Yeah, some guy crying.
Then my
Film
mum
5 minutes.
shared
Yeah, so that
things
was
aren't good.
that was real raw. That was real raw and real and true. Like everything you were saying was like, that's so true. He's got it.
Yeah, I
He's hit
didn't
the
want to
nail on the head.
sugarcoat anything. Like, it's fucking tough doing stand-up. Even like,
Absolutely.
especially if you pride yourself on like your sense of humor, and then you go up there and you're like, this is a killer set, and then everyone's just like, this fuckwit, and you're just like, you feel yourself shrinking, and you're like, I've got another 3.5 minutes. So
Oh, great.
it sucks.
It
But
does,
when
yeah.
you kill, you're like, my head's hitting the roof.
It's a
Like,
drug.
my dick's grazing along the ground. I'm the greatest man that ever lived. That's the difference. It's the highs and the lows are like insane. And the people who, I feel like, if you don't feel like that, like, you probably shouldn't do it. If you just run through the emotions of stand-up, you're probably like, no, you should care when you go shit. And you should really enjoy it when you go well. Okay, that's just me.
Yeah, I get frustrated like when it goes bad. I used to get really upset, but now it's more like, fuck, I had an opportunity here to do good, and I didn't.
Yeah.
I fucked my opportunity. When back in the day, I'd be like, I'm quitting
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I can't do this. I can't put up with this any longer. But when it goes good, it's like, well, fuck, yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's weird. Those you could probably have like 5 bad ones in a row and be like, this is the end. I fucking hate this.
Yeah.
And then have one good one, and you're like, I'm fucking back,
back, baby.
I'll bring the whole hour. I'm coming back. Yeah.
100%. 100%.
It's so
like,
strange.
when you get those audiences where like you've got them, and now it's like whatever I say goes now. Like you can throw in an extra new bit that you don't even know works.
Target.
Yeah, you can throw your target material in there, and and then wrap it up with one of your solid closes, and then you fucking I did it. It's good.
Yeah.
But it's all this talk's making me miss comedy now that we're stuck in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah, it's
Or
fun.
a plandemic, as the conspiracy theorists are called it.
Well, you've always got TikTok, boys, so you can get on there.
I actually deleted my TikTok account, boys.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah,
Really?
canned that one. Yeah.
But
yeah.
you've been getting a bit of work out of that, though, haven't you?
Yeah, but let's can that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some horrible stuff getting around on there. But hey, man, to be honest, I don't even use it. I just went on there because you were on there and you told me to go on there.
I went on there to take the piss, and then taking the piss wasn't funny anymore.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never got into any of that type of like Vines which I don't mind, the little like fucking skits and sketches and type of stuff. But I mean, like, I always like, it's the same as writing jokes. You're like, is this funny?
Yeah. The answer is most of the time no, but if you don't do it, you'll never know.
The thing I hate is when some cunt does something that's not funny, and you're like, why do people like this?
Yeah, I can think of a couple off the top of my head.
Yeah.
What about the thing that gets me is there's one guy in America who makes a great TikTok and acts it out beautifully, and it's a good sketch. It's actually a funny TikTok. But then every single person on the face of the earth recreates it and don't credit anyone and just fucking does it. Like it happened to me.
Really?
What happened?
That fat kid with a mullet that went on The Voice Australia.
Huh?
He copied like 6 of me TikToks.
Really?
Yeah, I called him out. We had like a fake Biff on there.
What happened? What were your TikToks?
Well, see, I made this joke about, I forget what it was off the top of my head, but it was about coronavirus when it first was happening.
Yeah.
And I said something about coronavirus, and then he did verbatim same thing.
Fuck.
And I called him out and stuff. Like, it didn't bother me, but I just called him out to make it more fun. And let's see what happens when we do this. And and then all these followers are like, "Oh, Cody Jones, he's actually funnier than you and shit." And it was just like this thing, and it was actually quite fun. But it gets old.
Joke thief, piece of shit. That's all.
And then our mate was on there doing shitty TikToks. I was like, I can't put up with this anymore. I can't be mistaken for one of these people.
Yeah. No, that's the thing, man. I mean, it's you gotta either embrace it entirely and become a slave to it, or fuck it off, mate. And fuck it off is probably better for your mental health as well, because I mean, who wants to be involved in that? And especially now that everyone's at home, all they've got to do is compete on TikTok. So fuck off.
It's pretty hard. It's pretty hard not to get wrapped up into that world. Like I literally just got like Instagram for Tait Talks podcast. Yeah. Just to plug it again. And like I got fucking Twitter the other day, like fucking a Facebook page, all that type of bullshit. But I've never been like a social media whore. But it's very like when you're putting something up and then looking at the analytics of like how many downloads did I get today for the podcast? It's very much like something like I don't find it that hard doing the podcast. I naturally talk to people pretty easily and stuff like that. I send a message on Facebook. We go back and forth 5 times. They go yes or no. Then they come into I lure them into the shed. We talk about fucking shit. I film it. I crudely edit the video. I don't even edit the fucking audio, and that's it. But I still I look at the fucking analytics and I'm like, what could I do to be the next Joe Rogan?
Well, I try not to get caught up in that in the analytics, because I mean, it is, but I know that I get addicted to them, and I go, I want more. So I just go, no, I'm not looking at them. Let's just continue on, because if I start doing that, then I modify my behavior to gain more sort of stuff, and I'm like, can't do that. If I want to do anything at all and be successful in it, I need to do it as myself. I need to do it as being a person, instead of going, what do they want? How do I get it? There's an element of that. Obviously, try not to be a piece of shit. But I mean, it's when you I just put up I've got Instagram for my music stuff, and I put a picture of some synths up on the page, and I've just been watching it going, oh, it's up to 60. Oh, and I'm like, hey, shut the fuck up. No one cares. It's just a picture. Leave it alone.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Like,
but at the same time, you want to grow it. I mean, you would imagine not having to work and do this podcast. Actually, wait a minute, Tait.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not making any money.
but imagine making money from it all day. It would be sick.
It would be nice. It would be nice to fucking. I just want to chat to people that are like legit, like celebrity, like someone that I can be like, tell us how you went from here to there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, it's fun chatting to my mates and stuff. That's really good, and I'm comfortable, and I can be a rat bag and say what I want. But like, I would like to just chat to people with like industries that I know nothing about and actually learn, and then so kind of get, as I said, that little blueprint, so people could be like, oh, this is what that person did, and they're successful. It may not work like that, but here's a bit of a fucking a launch pad.
That's I think why it was good for us to kind of move a few episodes to Zoom, because it's hard to lure celebrities into your mum's shed.
Yeah, that's realistically, I just can't. I can't get them. Like,
that's right.
You know, and a lot of people don't live near you anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's you guys are in Bendigo. It's gonna be pretty hard. Even if someone's in Melbourne, it's gonna be a fair trek.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's I'm an hour away from Melbourne. Like, people aren't gonna come out of their way to fucking come on my mum's podcast. It's another one. But like, just to come on the podcast.
Does your mum have a podcast?
Yeah.
When you're not there, she's in the room. She changes the banner. It's called Tate's Mum Talks.
Yeah.
It's got 2 million followers.
Yeah, fucking
just
40
slags me off.
episodes ready to go.
He
Imagine
goes,
that.
yeah, he did another one last night. His friend come over, his little mate.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
laughing. She's
Little
ripping
mate.
billies in the shed, laughing at your podcast.
Love it,
Yeah,
man.
if she knew how to use the internet, I would be worried, but she does not. But yeah, it's a different world. It's fun. I've learned so much shit. Like, I feel like I could now do like a crude tutorial online and be like, this is what I didn't even know what kind of fucking audio shit. You know what I mean? Like, your average Joe doesn't know that shit. And I spoke to you, Broden,
Yeah.
who actually knows about that. Like, it's very, like, people don't know shit unless they go into it. Like,
and that's the problem at the moment, is we're in a very unique position where a lot of people need access to essentially a fully functioning television studio, and they need it for under $500.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're like, oh, fuck, man, I've got to do this over Zoom now. It sounds shit because it's like, it sounds like I'm, and it just sounds horrible. And I'm like, okay, man, you need a couple of things. A lot of people are like, I want to get a Shure SM7B and a crane arm. I'm like, why? I want to stream Twitch. And I'm like, dude, get a fucking, this is my PlayStation headset. It's fine. I mean, I did do an episode with Jaron in which I used this gorgeous microphone here called the Electro Voice RE320. And that's a competitive...
It looks like a fleshlight.
Well, it does have a screw-off end that you can... but like that was a competitor to the 7B. I use that for kick drums when I was, doing recordings and stuff like that. But people want something and they go, all right, I'm going to need something. Here's one of the Scarletts and a microphone. And I say, cool, get it somewhere that you can get it close enough to your mouth. If you don't want it in your shot, then you're probably fooling yourself and you need to go to a TV station. But you need to have that stuff now as a part of normal life, which is why that company ordered 7,000 of these things and they couldn't get that many because everyone has bought them. There was, before this happened, that part, that section, if you will, of products at music shops, they were moving along. They were doing their thing. They're obliterated, completely blitzed because Nana needs one now. So she can do a ukulele club stuff. You know what I mean? It's, everybody has to have one. And they also want it, hey, I need something to plug into my phone because I don't have a computer. And I'm like, well, we'll find something for you. It'll be easy to find, but you're finding it in all of these places where you would never normally think to look.
I would suggest for you personally, Broden, if you wanted to, that could be something you could personally do on YouTube to talk. And you look at the fucking reviews and people talking about that stuff, they have major fucking views because everyone wants to do this and they don't have a person to fucking talk to. Well,
and I'm 100% with you, and I've been trying to do that as part of my job. But the problem with that is having to be at the job during the day and not wanting to work when I get home,
True, yeah.
And that's, I mean, I totally, I'm sure anybody would love a bunch of weeks off. I've had one Monday off since March, and I'm about to, commit workplace violence, but not because I don't like it, just because of having to be there all the time. But yes, I'm with you, and I've done a few. First lockdown when we had the door locked, and I pumped out guitar video tutorials, unboxing videos, fucking one on every mate and guitar in the shop. But then it's so busy, and I'm the only staff member. It's the owner, the manager, who's between two shops, and me. So, I mean, I'm picking up after the things around the shop and following up orders and doing all that kind of stuff. There could be two of me, and half of the work would still need to be done. It's so busy in music shops right now. It's
a good thing.
Yeah.
I guess. Good and bad. Like as you said, you'll run off your feet, but nice to be working, I guess.
Yeah, well, it is, but like I also said, it'd be nice to have 6 weeks off, like a lot of people, and still get paid for it.
I mean, I've had ages off work.
Yeah. Are you itching
to get back? A lot of people
are
like, you must be getting bored, and I'm like, not really.
Take it or leave it. That's the thing is people say, oh, you get bored after a couple of weeks. Motherfucker, look at this. I could be in here for the rest of my life and have a great time. Look at all these great toys. Look at all these great things to do. I never have. If I didn't have to not eat, I would just live here.
Broden's showing off his room full of synths.
Yep.
If you're a
Yeah.
listener, if you're a sole listener, you fucking
Just chilling out. Yeah, but there's so much cool
just-
shit in
You should
here.
have said that.
Well,
You
he's
should have been
saying-
like,
yeah, he's showing off his
showing off
toys.
dildo.
Yeah, showing off his- but like, I mean, you've got to have a bit of human interaction. I understand that, and you've got to have a bit of daylight. But man, I stayed home once for a few months, and it was the best.
Yeah.
It was the best.
This thing has kept me sane doing the podcast and mucking around and even watching things online and this and that and other people with podcasts and that type of stuff. Like, it's just little like gimmicks, how to get a couple of extra followers and this and that and blah, 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 and how to understand some analytics and this shit.
Yeah.
If you should pay for advertising, all that type of stuff. So that's kept me pretty sane.
I want to watch that. I want to watch that one about the analytics too. Have you got any advice on website stuff, how to make it, what to do with it, and all that kind of shit?
No, I haven't got onto the website stuff myself.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get like I'm just trying to work out like, you guys are kind of like my, like I'm the guy from The Voice ripping you guys off. I watch what you guys do and I'm like, if I like that and I think it works and stuff like that, then I try it. Just shit like that. Like, you know, the clips and stuff you do, which I mean, a lot of
Great.
other podcasts have been doing that for ages.
Oh, but that's the thing is that if you're ripping us off, we're ripping everybody off because
yeah.
Like,
So I mean,
yeah, they're all. It's just like I always wanted to have a podcast called Opinions I Like Podcasts because everyone's fucking got one and no one cares about them. That was the joke.
yeah, true.
But but that's the thing is that you should be doing that, and I would implore anybody else with one, take clips of the best bits out of your episodes and put them up.
My thing is,
yeah,
I just don't like bombarding people with shit. I would be a terrible.
They'll look at what they
salesman
want,
for
though.
myself.
they look at what they want to. They see what they want to see though. If they don't want to look at it, they'll skip it. You don't, and that's the thing is you don't. One of my mates who's a photographer for a amazing like 5-star photography firm. He's he's a hustler. Definitely, he's very talented. He gave me some really great advice once when I was starting up my little Instagram. He goes, "Don't post more than twice a week," and I'm like, "Really?"
Okay.
And he goes, "Yeah, people get sick of it."
Yeah.
Post something engaging on a Tuesday and Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or whatever. It's like 2 or 3 times. I didn't say 2 times, but yeah, don't annoy people.
Yeah,
Just
not 5 a
post
day.
just post. Don't post more than once a day for sure. But just post things that are going to be interesting and engaging. And then he told me about the hashtags. How you've got to go.
Yeah, that's a
All
big one.
Blue, mountains, paint, Bob Ross. You know, all things that are related to that.
Skeleton, berry.
Yeah, and the more
Daniel
things, the more things you do. Oh fucking hell! The more things you put up there, the more people it'll show up in their feeds. And
yeah, I didn't realize that until yesterday. My mate was like, "Get onto Twitter," and then I did, and he's like, "No, put hashtags in." And I'm like, and then I did one with it, one without, and then I looked at the little fucking numbers, and I was just like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
It's like 5 times the amount of people looking at, and we're talking about in the hundreds.
Yeah, wow.
You know, it's crazy how much shit gets around. If you do something bad, people are going to fucking know. That's all I'm saying.
A nice one that I haven't tried yet, but it was a really good piece of advice was to say $20, right? Pick 4 age demographics. And, you know, so you got women from 13 to 20, women from 20 to 30. And then you got men from 13 to 20 or whatever. It's Facebook's 13. I think you have to start on that. And then men from 20 to 30 or whatever. As much as you can do. Break it into those sections. Put $5 into each ad. And then
see which works.
See which one goes the best, and then hit them. And
I feel like 13 may be a bit young for my stuff.
Well, yeah, but you know that's just the starting age for Facebook up to a certain age, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like that was an interesting one. He said put $1 on it. I don't know what the lowest you can put on it is, but if put in what you can afford, split it into a bunch of categories, and then take from that your audience, I suppose. And I'm like, that's not a bad idea. If if we had the cash to do that, that'd be an interesting experiment to run.
Yeah, it's all about how much do you want to put in. Like, I can put in fucking $100 a week in advertising on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and it's like, I just don't want to fucking do that.
Yeah, that's more than you.
I mean, it's my content. I think my content's good, but at the same time, I don't think it's noteworthy to draw people in yet You know what I mean? I feel like you got to save it at some point. Like you got to build it to a certain point, then add on. That makes
Well,
sense. Not
it's
just
it's
Yeah,
the phases,
yeah.
man. Cody and I, we've had phases, right? Phase 1, me and Cody talking at a table. Phase 2, us talking at a table, and sometimes guests.
was it
3.
phase 1 was eating, wasn't it?
No, that was beta phase. That was a test to see whether or not we could talk. Really.
Yeah.
What's your opinions on that, Cody? About eats?
Yeah, just well, we weren't even gonna. It was never something that was gonna happen until we put the camera up and just said, as it was happening, I was like, let's just make this a thing where we eat and we try and make each other laugh, but we don't break character. So you can't laugh, and the first person to laugh. It's sort of like a competition without having it to be a competition.
Yeah.
And I was trying to say shit. You can see it really clearly, and then it turned into a series. But you can see it really clearly in the first episode where we're trying to sit there and I'm saying shit and throwing lines in there, and like we're each throwing lines in trying to make each other laugh.
It took us 3 hours to eat that dinner.
It took a long time. There was 30 takes on one joke.
Yeah.
And
and
it was
that
fun,
ended
though.
up we ended up turning that into our the comedy festival special for that year. Like Cody goes, hey, do you want to do this thing with me? We'll fill it out. We'll put some gags in there, and that came from doing that first episode.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's funny how that stuff happens.
Yeah. You kind of get sick of just doing comedy by yourself, and you
I
feel
wouldn't
like
know.
you're a
I've
bit
never done it.
Well, that's the thing that I've learnt is the good things about like doing the podcast myself is I get to learn everything. And the other part is I get to make up when I actually want to do the podcast and chat to someone and be proactive and things like that. But the other half is it's just like, it's all on me.
Yep.
Like,
man,
it's all my friends on Facebook. I don't get to split it half and half. There's just
two things with that though, Tait, is that I hope you do know that you're not alone in that, because you've got guys like that you can talk to, like us and the other dudes that you're working with. So please never do feel alone. If you ever feel like that, message us and we'll give you a boot up the arse.
It's more laziness.
That too, but that's the thing is that if it weren't for Cody, I wouldn't be sitting here right now, because I'm a lazy piece of shit. If I didn't have some kind of like me and Cody egging each other on to have a giggle and do funny shit, if that wasn't for Cody being able to go, what are we doing next time? What do you want to do? And then I'll be like, hey, I've got an idea. And then I'll come back like with an idea, and Cody will have it fucking done and ready and go, yeah, by the way, we've got t-shirts and a fucking website. And I'm like, holy shit, this is real. So then it's like, okay, we got to get more guests then. So
I just love having a project to work on, because I think that's what you need in life, to be honest. I feel like you need goals, and if you don't have goals, then you stagnate and you'll just go to work and you'll have nothing else. What's life without goal setting and achieving shit that you want to achieve? Anyone can go to work and plonk along and basically just be a plonker.
Oh man, and I'd totally be doing that if I wasn't doing this. That's the problem, and that's why I love having this. Yeah, and that's the thing is that this is keeping me 1 foot out of the mud.
Do you have goals with your music though?
Yeah, I just want to finish a fucking song, but I can't do that without having holidays.
That's something that you would probably be doing.
I'd be ripping
guitar or something. You'd be constantly fucking tinkering.
Yeah, well, man, I had just let's jack myself off here a little bit on the camera.
Okay.
Seriously,
the camera down.
I was so proud of myself this year because I had 1 week off, 1 week, and in that week I drove to another fucking state, shot a whole video, wrote a whole song, came back and released it, and made money off I've never made money off a song in my life. And I had radio interviews on the fucking ABC, and I was like, I can't believe I did that with a week off. A lot of help. But I'm like, that's so awesome that it actually happened. I mean, and that's why I want more time off, because I'm like, I can do more. I've got more. I can do more.
I can be famous.
Yeah. But that's the thing is that I hope that a lot of people find that they can do stuff with the time if they've got good people around them and good friends and people who want to help them and people who offer their assistance and people who support them and actually care about what they're doing. That's the thing is this is probably one of the first times doing this podcast, not the first time doing it, but the first time for me in my life that I am doing something that I feel like there's more support than just the people who you kind of feel like have to, like your families and shit. Like it's, I had 3 people come into the shop today going, man, I listened to the Jaron episode of the podcast. It's great. And I'm like, well, that was, one guy said the Jaren one, but everyone loves the space alien episodes. They're just hilarious for everybody. But yeah, and it's nice to actually have real people come to your work, or some nice gentleman named James, I think it was, came and ran into me at EB Games and was like, "Hey man, fucking Flow State podcast." I'm like, "Sweet, this is happening." But it feels good to actually have someone enjoy something you do rather than just your mates going in the bus with you to see your gig, which we always appreciate, but it's nice when people you don't know like it.
Yeah, that's
sure.
kind of like the good thing about stand-up is like a lot of gigs you don't do in front of your friends a lot of the times, or for me, myself, and when you make randoms laugh that don't have any connection to you, you're like, oh, I am semi-humorous, like it's not just pure arrogance. Maybe I might be funny. So like, it's always nice to random strangers to give you a compliment, because as you said, your friends are awesome. Like I've had a lot of support with this podcast, with my friends sharing it and stuff, which is awesome.
Isn't that nice? Yeah.
And it helps a lot. People don't realize how much a share help. And even saying that, like, I fucking never share your shit. I always forget. But like, it's one of those ones where like you're just like, oh shit, like now I've got all of your friends. Like you potentially, and then if one of their friends share it, like it can connect it all around the world. But I forget about it. I'm just one of those people that I'm hard to like things, because I'm like, I watch something fucked and I'm like, oh, that was interesting or funny, but I don't want others to fucking see it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I wish you could like shit and it didn't say that you liked it, but other people could see it. That makes sense. And it was like, it'd be handy. I get the point of you like it, and then other cunts can fucking see it. But sometimes, like something that's quite inappropriate, you don't want to be like it's funny as fuck, but I don't really want to.
Tait Middleton likes this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people are quick to judge about anything. It could be just a funny video of a dude saying something about his girlfriend or something. You're like,
Dolly
that's
Parton.
fucking comical. Yeah, And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I saw you like this thing where the guy was degrading his missus, and he's like, no, they were having a fight and he called her a bitch. Like, it's, like it's not what I fucking think. No, you're a scumbag. Fuck you. You're out. Like it's hard. Like you just, well, it's fucked is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Absolutely, it is. Yeah.
Well, as the boys at Monty Python say, life's a piece of shit when you look at it.
Sure.
So, target jokes, boys.
Oh yeah.
Before we finish with it, if I can finish.
Target's the punchline. Okay. Give me the worst target joke you've got.
The fact that we're doing this.
Okay. Right. All right. The joke can be about trying to write a joke about target.
But yeah, what have you got, Tait? You'd have something off the cuff
about Target. I can tell you about the fucking the clientele that go to Target that think they're like not scumbags.
Yeah. Sunday shoppers.
Majority of them. If you want like a place that coronavirus could wipe out half of the fucking their people, Target could be one of them.
That's right. That's why it's got a Target on the front of the building.
This is how I get fucking cancelled. He's like, he was slagging off Target.
Please, the Targets.
But it's a quite array of people in Target.
The Target's good. It's good that it's like got all those targets around it, so that they know where to drop the bomb.
That's right.
It's true.
I get all my socks from Target though, so I'd be a little bit sad because I got ones with chilies on it, and ones with avocado on it, and ones with a taco on it, and they're cool.
I mean, you could probably get them from somewhere else. Like we could still exterminate a couple of. In saying that, I'm probably one of those people that should be exterminated. So the king of the rat, fucking. Yeah. I mean, writing jokes about Target's not the easiest.
I know, especially when it's such a shit idea for a joke.
I'll get back to you on that one.
Yeah. Anybody, give us your best Target gag. Tait, we should probably wrap it up. We'll probably hit that point with the sweet spot. But we always love talking to you.
Thank you, brother.
And thanks so much for coming on to be on episode 29, man.
Thank you very much, guys, for having me. From the bottom of my heart, I did give you guys a plug in episode 1, but thanks you guys for fucking helping me get the podcast up, because I 100% definitely wouldn't have done it without both of your help. So thank you.
Just remember us
Thanks,
when you
man.
reckon the millions in, mate.
Thanks for the
I
plug.
mean-
And while we're going, where can people find the Tait Talks podcast?
You can find Tait Talks podcast on majority of the podcast apps, definitely on iTunes and Spotify.
Yep.
All those little other ones that are linked to those podcast
Instagram
apps.
and Facebook.
Instagram and Facebook. Tait Talks on Instagram, Tait Talks podcast on Facebook. Twitter is Tait Talks, and for the YouTube videos is Tait Talks podcast.
Go and find that, guys. Tait Talks to a lot of interesting people, including myself.
Cody
And,
will be
we
episode 9.
Episode 9, we talk in depth about me working in a
very
jail for 3 years of my life and stand-up comedy. But Tait, thank you very much once again. It's been great chatting to you. It's been great chatting on the Flow State podcast, and that was episode number 29.
Belt it.
Belt it.
Thank you. Dolly Parton has fake tits.